Okay, we should be live. I'm going to check now. Wow, there's so much going on with Helldivers 2 right now.
Yeah.
Stop that. Oh, yep, it is live. And I just heard you sigh again. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What the hell? The VGRT Gaming Podcast, episode 763, recorded on September 17th, 2025.
Hello, and welcome to the 763rd edition of the TD Gaming Podcast and 596th episode of Video Game Roundtable. I'm TJ Denzer.
I'm Scott Dirk.
I am Jonah Falcon.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, it's your turn.
The VGRT Gaming Podcast focuses on game news from around the industry.
Yeah, so let's talk about what you've been playing. TJ, what have you been playing?
Almost exclusively Hollow Knight, Silksong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody's been playing that game.
Me.
I find it to be everything that it was supposed to be so far.
Except harder.
Oh no, definitely harder.
Matter of
I've
fact,
heard
there's a patch coming out to make it less hard.
Actually, that one came out already. It nerfed a couple of the bosses and made the mid-game currency a little bit better.
Yeah, that was the big complaint, was that the bosses were too hard. Like there were some that did 2 hits instead of 1 when they attacked you. That sort of thing.
I hear there's a lot to do, like a lot of side quests.
Oh yeah, it's a huge map. If I had to, so I played through all of Hollow Knight 1. I'm one of the people that have been like, I'm one of the sickos that have been waiting for this game for like 8 years. I was. Really,
you're not the only person.
Right.
Every conference since like 2019, everybody keeps on posting Silksong, Skong.
Yeah, but that is to say that, like, when it came to this game, I'm very familiar with Hollow Knight, and I knew what I was in for as far as just like, you have to remember, Silksong at one time wasn't meant to be its own game.
Yes,
it was meant to be an expansion on top of the irregular Hollow Knight, which means that it was supposed to be additional and harder content for Hollow Knight.
That was one of the complaints, by the way, by some players. Says this feels like an expansion, and the response is, well,
but it's like a massive expansion.
It's more of Hollow Knight, exactly what you guys wanted.
Right.
It's what we like to call in the business a standalone expansion.
and that is to say, like, I've been going through this game for review and on live stream, and I've been doing no-hit runs of the bosses as I go.
Nice.
So, to me,
Mega Man?
I mean, to me, it's like, this isn't an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not unfair. You have to learn the patterns. You have to figure out you have to learn your reflexes, hone your reflexes, figure out the kit that works for you.
Here's the thing: some people have said that the correct word is not to say that it's hard, but that it's punishing.
Mm-hmm. And I think a perfect example of that is that you don't have much recovery after you get hit in this game. It's like maybe half a second, and then you can be hit again. So if you're inside the body of a large enemy, you'll get hit immediately after you just got hit. And some of those enemies are taking off 2 pips of life from your 5 pip life health bar.
Welcome to Castlevania.
Yeah,
those people who smack you and they bang you back a couple of feet, and then, oh no, I'm falling to my death.
But I kind of put my finger on it, is that, like, those old games, they have like a moment of invulnerability where you can like boost. It's called damage boosting. You basically brute force your way through enemies. You take the damage, and then you brute force your way through them. In Hollow Knight Silksong, you don't have that recovery, and you don't have that invulnerability for long enough for anything other than escape. And so things can go from like you're doing well and you have all your life to you're dead and respawning in like no time.
It's a knife's edge.
Sounds like Mega Man to me.
Yeah, it's good though so far. It's a very, very good quality. Like, if this was an expansion, it would be the best expansion, one of the best expansions of all time. But it certainly warrants itself as a proper standalone game. I think it's very interesting and fun.
Well, it's interesting to see how that evolved. It was, Silksong was supposed to be an expansion, and then at some point they said, you know what, this is too big to be an expansion. I will say this though. And when we talk about the Nintendo Direct, we can reference this. But how much does Silksong cost?
$20.
That's a great price. Not going to do better than that.
That is double A money for it's like indie money for a double A game.
Yeah, and people are on average like clocking in to 45 hours on the main quest of this game, so it's a chunky game.
Scott, what have you been playing?
I have been playing the Sky, the first remake demo. I've been having fun with that. It's a very meaty demo, so I've been going through that.
A lot of demos coming out lately.
Mm-hmm. There's Alabaster Dawn coming out tomorrow, so I'm going to be checking that out as well.
I believe they released a Borderlands 4 demo. There was another demo that for an entire castle of one of the games that I forgot which one it was. But they said that there's this huge demo for the castle level of a game that just came out. I'm trying to remember what it is. It's not a small game. It hasn't come out yet. But anyways, I've been playing games. I played 3 games in the time we spoke. First game, I played Dragon Age Inquisition again because it is on EA. It's on Game Pass because it's part of EA Play. So I said, screw it, I'm going to play this because I want the achievements now. And I played the entire game, every single side story. And I realized, oh my God, the times I was playing before, I got endings. I thought I got the happy ending, but now I got the happiest ending. So it's really strange. And here's the thing: gameplay for the Veilguard has shot up like 1,800 times because it's now on Game Pass, and it's sort of like people are discovering it. A lot of people complained about it without ever actually playing it. And now they're like singing its praises because they got to play it essentially for free. But I knew that. Here's the thing. I don't give a shit what people say about a game. I remember BioShock 2 and people were down on it, mostly because of Minerva's Den. But I thought at the time it was a big improvement over BioShock. And even after all the BioShocks that came after, it's the best BioShock. And people are starting to come around on that. Alpha Protocol. Can't buy it anymore. And I finally got to replay it because for whatever reason, now it works. The next game I played and I 100%ed it. And here's the thing. I didn't even know it existed until I saw a video about video game protagonists. And that is Wandersong. And it came out before the Artful Escape. This game has more game than the Artful Escape, but it has the same themes. And the one thing I love... Have you ever heard of Wandersong?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
Here's the interesting thing. It runs on a theme in which you are not the hero. And as a matter of fact, you don't get achievements. The hero who you don't play gets the achievements. Your character doesn't earn achievements. It's hilarious. But I would strongly suggest to play this game and play it all the way through because it has a great payoff. Like the Artful Escape, it has a magnificent payoff, and you really have to try it out. It starts off silly, but then it keeps on going on. And then there was a stealth drop on Game Pass, which I played today. And that is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. Which is Deep Rock Galactic, except as Vampire Survivors. And for some people have already played it 400 hours because it was on early access, from what I understand. Have you seen Deep Rock Galactic Survivor?
Yes, I have seen it, but I've never had a chance to I saw it when they first announced it, but I haven't seen the gameplay for it.
Yeah, so it's really good. It takes the Vampire Survivor thing and it puts it in Deep Rock Galactic. And while you're playing, you're doing everything that you normally do in Deep Rock Galactic. However, this game, you actually have a focus. Because one of the problems I have with Vampire Survivors is I don't know how to advance in that game. How do I unlock it? It's very obscure. You have to do this, and this, and this on this level at this time, and this. Deep Rock Galactic is no, we're just linear. You do this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and you unlock this as you go along.
Sometimes linear is nice. You just have that nice streamlined experience.
It's linear in its progression, but you can also play any level that you want that you've unlocked. But like Vampire Survivor, the achievements come fast and furious. I think there's like 1,000 achievements, all worth 5 points each. So you constantly, oh, you did that? Achievement. 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 So
that sounds fun.
Yeah. And also it's $15.
Another good price.
The other game I started getting back into because I was curious is No Man's Sky. And it's still the slog that it's always been, but now I'm investing some more time because I want to get to the new content that they were talking about, that revolutionary new content. So I'm doing that. And, hopefully I'll get... There has to be a point in which the game really opens up, and I don't mean going from planet to planet to planet. I mean where I don't feel I have to mine things just to progress, So there's that. The one game I have not played yet is Helldivers 2. I am not touching that game yet because I knew there was going to be problems when they did an effective relaunch of the game. It's sort of like World of Warcraft with a new expansion, And man, oh man, there's a lot of complaints about Helldivers. People are really upset at Arrowhead. What have you heard about it, TJ?
It seems like that's been the story. It seems like that's been the story of that game since the beginning. Like they balance too much, they balance not enough. The game might be about fascists or not, and
it's Starship Troopers. Of course, it's about the fascists.
It seems like ever since Helldivers 2 came out, there's been no shortage of
complaints,
conversations about what's wrong with the game or what it's doing wrong or how can it fail.
I'm going to tell you this right now. And I'm going to tell you this. This is specifically about PlayStation users. They are the most whiny, ungrateful people ever want to meet in terms of games. And they're worse than Call of Duty fans. They are unpleasable. Until they're pleased, and then they're unpleased. And I saw one Lieutenant Lightbeer, he has a YouTube video, showed a graph. And it was sort of like saying, complaints, we love it. Complaints, we love it. Complaints, we love it. Complaints, we love it. The difference is this current situation feels more earned because Helldivers just turned off the new bugs for being too buggy a couple of hours ago. So they're rolling back the patch for now, or at least rolling back the bugs.
That's wild. I really it is like you said, like a lot of those people just love to complain. I don't think that they'll ever fully get it right as far as most people go, but I guess that it makes sense that now we have more fresh complaints because because the floodgates are now open to Xbox players and Game Pass players. So now you've got like a good chunk of new players that come in. That get to come in. You got a big group of new players that get to come in and complain about the things that the other players had gotten done about complaining, and now
I mean, they can't. They have something to complain about other than Halo now.
Yeah,
man, they turned on Arrowhead like nothing else. It's just like
Man, have you seen that? Okay, so one thing that I have to bring up because just of Destiny, or rather, you mentioned Halo, but have you seen Destiny Rising and how much it's kind of taking off? Where people are kind of falling off of Destiny 2 because they haven't been able to get much right recently.
Huh.
So this is like a thing that's been going on for most of this year, where like Destiny 2 fans have been pretty mad because Bungie keeps adding new stuff to the game and expansions and keeps breaking older things and just keeps adding more new things.
That's a tale as old as time. I remember when I was playing Dark Age of Camelot, and when the Atlantis DLC, at some point, the Atlantis DLC had items that made all the hard-earned weapons obsolete, and then the Atlantis DLC weapons were pieces of shit too. So yeah, that's nothing new.
Right, but like in this particular regard, like as Destiny 2, players have been kind of getting fed up. I mean, there's still about 30,000 concurrents on there, which is crazy for a live service game. But Destiny 2, but the mobile spinoff, Destiny Rising, also launched recently. And people have been saying that it's like the second coming of Destiny, and they've been enjoying it.
That's the game they wanted.
Yeah, like they've been. I'm like a lot of my colleagues that are diehards on Destiny. Like they've been going to Rising more than they've been playing Destiny 2.
And even though it's a mobile,
it's mobile only right now.
Remember Diablo, the mobile version of Diablo?
Yeah, Diablo Immortals.
Yeah, so it's sort of like the reverse of that.
And you have this. It's on if you play it on Android, you can use an Android emulator to get it onto PC and play it there. So that's what some people have been doing, and it's like it's scratching that Destiny urge for them because D2 has not been doing it lately.
I just said, it's all about the bugs, isn't it? Everything comes back to Silksong, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But Arrowhead said that our patch yesterday, combined with other issues regarding the balance of the Rupper strain, has made them function in a way we did not intend. And holy cow, I've seen some of the videos. They were not intended to do that.
Yeah.
They were not intended to just one-hit kill some people or just teleport beneath them and stuff like that. It's like these bugs literally broke the game. The Rupper show will be back online in 5 weeks.
Interesting.
Which is fine with me. It's fine with me. You know what? Let the new players, and here's the thing, a lot of Xbox players have been playing on PC, and now they just get to play it on their favorite console. Yeah. Do we want to talk about Ubisoft now? We have two things to talk about Ubisoft now. First thing, Ubisoft has some Assassin's Creed DLC that's founded by Saudi Arabia, which the people working at Ubisoft is not okay. And then Ubisoft opens their trap and says something incredibly stupid. Talking with partners who do not share our democratic values does not mean abandoning them. Really now? What the fuck? Oh, well, if North Korea pays you enough, I guess you're going to do DLC for them too, right? Oh, they don't like democracy, but hey, we'll still... That doesn't mean anything to us. Hey, maybe Vladimir can pay him money to do a Russian feed.
Truly a washing our hands of the situation. We're just making the content now, like stance. That's such a cowardly way to go about it.
Hey, remember when remember Assassin's Creed always says, what is the line? This game, what's it called, has a diversity of faiths and religions and all that stuff. Well, I guess if you're a brutal monarchy, that's fine too.
Yeah, and like,
so like I said, why don't they just do a deal with North Korea and Russia now? That should be fine.
If you partner with somebody, you can't disavow everything about them while also partnering with them. Like, you can't pretend that like you're not at the very least funding the behavior that they can, like, that they execute. And like, I guess like there's a lot of groups partnering up with Saudi Arabia these days, and I understand why. It's about the money, because Saudi Arabia has like an infinite money hack. But
here's the thing. Ubisoft, they would never have had this problem with the DLC as is. It's just who's funding it. Because remember, the DLC, it sees Basim, it is for Assassin's Creed Mirage, visiting Alua, which is an ancient city in Saudi Arabia, right? Mm-hmm. So it's fine, but it's the money behind it that's concerning.
Yes. Because it's like, at some point, you don't get to say, we just take their money. We don't actually support what they do. You can't fucking say that. That's not true. You can't. It's simply not true.
Hey, there's 2 words I like to tell Ubisoft. You hear? Here's the 2 words I'd like to whisper to you: money laundering.
Mm-hmm. Like, this was the thing that we talked about a little bit ago, because recently Saudi Arabia, a Saudi Arabia-backed company, Qiddiya, also finalized acquisition of half of Evo, and that was like a huge moment for like FGC people having to talk about, like, is our hobby being bought out by Saudi Arabia? And like, it is a legitimate concern, because like, I don't want to travel to Saudi Arabia. I have nothing against the people. I just don't think I'd do well there. That's just the way it is. And I think that's for a lot of people. Like, there's nothing wrong with the Saudi Arabian people. There's nothing wrong with Saudi Arabian citizens. It's the government and the activity that it is engaged in the past that has given people rightful cause for concern. Like, and when it looks like the entire entertainment world is being scraped up and consolidated into Saudi Arabia, that's a disturbing and uncomfortable thing to watch.
I'm not as concerned. They're busy bankrupting themselves. So
yeah, but then if they bankrupt themselves altogether, what happens to Evo? What happens to like all the things that like they've bought that I like?
There'll be people who are able to.
What happens to SNK? What happens to, like, there's so much stuff that they have their hands in now, and so much.
I don't know. Do you think golf is going to go away if because of LIV? No.
No, I don't.
Here's the thing. Evo has fans, and believe it or not, they're not from Saudi Arabia. It'll live. Someone will say there's this huge thing of fans, So I'm not too worried about that. So let's talk about good news. That's about Ubisoft. Hey, guess what's back? The Crew! The Crew Unlimited has been released 2 days ago.
So yeah, there was a fan, I guess a fan mod or something, or some fans got together to make it.
Right, so what they did was they modded it so that there could be private servers, so now that the game works. The only thing that you need is an actual original copy of the game. Good luck getting that if you never owned a copy, because guess what? It's no longer available digitally. But I think there might be, but it's on PC. But if you were a fan of the Crew and still have the game, because when a game is delisted, they don't completely delist it. You still are able to download it for yourself. So now, at least, the game is functional. So I never liked the Crew. I thought it was janky in terms of racing. But here's the thing. That had a huge fan base. And now those who still own the Crew can actually play the game. Because it's one of those games in which when you turn off the online, that's it. The game's done.
Yeah, so I'm glad, I guess Stop Killing Games has influenced this, I would think.
Here's the thing. This is not influenced by Stop Killing Games, but this is sort of like reclamation. And Ubisoft really can't say anything because it's a mod and the people paid for it. So they can do whatever the fuck they want. This isn't a situation like City of Heroes in which NCSoft had to grant permission to the people to do City of Heroes MMO. No. This is people who have modded the game. It has a different way of working online now, and it is perfectly fine for them. So, and here's the best part, is that server will support offline racing. And also, all your local save games will work. And the people who did it, the Crew Unlimited, said no one will ever be able to take this away from you now.
Well, that's good, at least.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft can't do anything about it because it's a mod. It's a mod. And people paid for the game. This is not a pirated version of the Crew. This is just a mod that allows you to have online gameplay again. So, some disturbing news. Well, not disturbing, but some annoying news from Microsoft. Guess what? There's going to be a patch later this year, and their AI is going to be in all their software, like Office 365 and all that stuff.
Yeah, that really sucks.
And you cannot you cannot remove it. It's going to be baked.
Yeah.
Got to learn Linux.
I don't use Office 365 anyway, so I don't care. But yeah, I mean, it's not AI. It's a deep language learner. That's all it is.
A large language module.
But here's the thing: we survived Clippy. We can survive this.
Clippy wasn't bad, and you could also change Clippy. There was different companions.
Only popped up all the time and said, "Hey, looks like you want to do this."
You could have an actual wizard there, or a cat, or a dog, or I think a robot in Planet Earth. There was so many options.
If you're gonna have Clippy. I don't want a dog or a cat or a wizard. I want an annoying paperclip.
Okay, you can go have the annoying paperclip. I don't want an
annoying cat.
Cats are not annoying.
Okay then. It's going to happen in October 2025. It's going to be part of 365 Microsoft Desktop Client. I wonder what happened to Cortana then.
Nobody liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just didn't end up fitting into their model, because I definitely remember I would turn off Cortana anytime I had the option.
Here's the thing: I hate Copilot on Bing, and I hate Google's AI assistant. It's sort of intrusive. It's like I don't care. You're not helping me. I need a website that I want. I don't know what it is, but Bing really does not do web search as well, and I think it's because Google has the perfect. If I remember correctly, Google has the site prioritization or something like that. A certain algorithm that they use that gets what I want faster. Right? So I still use Google. I seldom ever use Edge. Also, I don't want news items when I open up a browser. So, anyways, some more good news. This was announced today. Guess what? The La Sombra and Toreador DLC is now going to be available. They're no longer DLC. They're in the game. It's not. They're going to get replacement DLC instead. They haven't announced what it is. So yeah, this smelled a lot like on-disc DLC to me.
I wonder how much trouble they would have had if they just released the game and then announced the DLC afterwards.
The game's not ready yet. Problem is the game's not ready.
Yeah, I know, but what if they had just held off on announcing this DLC altogether and not just straight up told everybody how far ahead of the game's launch that it was going to have DLC immediately?
It's Paradox Interactive. Paradox Interactive is all about the DLC. We know this. You've played Crusader Kings. You've played Europa Universalis. They love them DLC, don't they?
Yeah, but this is a game that people are super precious about, that they were waiting on for years, and to tell them months in advance before the game's coming out that there's going to be DLC is kind of cause for. I would be concerned if I cared.
It makes me wonder what. There's going to be another DLC called Loose Cannon and the Flower and the Flame. That sounds like Malkavian for the Loose Cannon. Flame. Oh, the Salubri? Or the Salubri and the... I'm getting too much into World of Darkness here. Mm-hmm. I'm sort of mixed, because I like the idea of you being a thin blood and having to work your way up. Now you're playing an elder. So basically what it tells me is that they're removing a lot of the role-playing out of it. And like I said, a lot of people who have demoed the game have said it's a lot like Arcane's games, like Arcane, right? So a Dishonored, it's more like a Dishonored game. Okay. But here's the thing: what I would have done is that I would have just announced each clan that you can play one at a time without having the DLC. So I don't know if it's the Chinese room who walked it back. I'm pretty sure it's the publisher. But on the other hand, hopefully they might have got the impression that our game may not be as good as people expect, so why annoy them more by having DLC? That's the other thing that worries me, is that they don't have faith in the game. So if they had faith in the game, they could just do what Pokemon did and said, hey, guess what? We're announcing the DLC before the game's released too. Get to that later. So, are either of you going to be playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2?
No.
I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
I was just, yeah. I'm planning on getting like the Sky First remake and Final Fantasy Tactics, and playing the Alabaster demo. So I'll be pretty busy.
Yeah, I'll be watching it closely. I don't know if I'm going to jump in at the start, but I will be probably down the line. That might be one of those games that I hold off on until I have like a Christmas break or another stretch of time to fiddle with it.
Just like Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Oh, that one's like super old at this point, and was when
here's the thing:
when I started, like
one of the best things about not Shadow of Mordor, because it feels a little janky after playing Shadow of War, but Shadow of War still plays like a 2025 game.
Yeah,
and it still looks like a 2025 game too. It's a beautiful game. But on the other hand, maybe you should just watch a Let's Play of Shadow of Mordor than play Shadow of War. I'm saying these are one of the greatest games of all time. You got to play it at some point.
I've watched gameplay of them a lot. Like I've seen the whole. There's a video out there of like what happens when you basically decimate someone down to level from like a high level.
Oh, shaming them.
Down to
yes,
level 1.
You shame them.
But like decimating them down to level 1 and just turning them into
shaming them. Keep shaming them. At some point, well, here's the thing: if they become deranged, they become level 80 or 90.
Wow, really? So they like jump from level 1 to
no. No. Sometimes they go deranged. Sometimes they become insane. But if they get deranged, they jump to level 90. They'll always be like 30 levels higher than you.
Wow, that's scary.
But there is a Nemesis System game coming out now.
There is? What is it called?
I'm trying to remember it. It's coming out, and it's going to use the Nemesis System, not Wonder Woman, not the game that Monolith was working on. And I have no idea. I remember reading about it, but they're going to be coming out. It's going to be coming soon. Let's talk about Nintendo Direct. And once again, people like the show. And after the show, people are really, really angry. And Nintendo's been doing this. They've been pissed off. Let's talk about what was announced in the show itself before we talk about what people were so upset about. What did you find? Okay, you know what? I already know that you're going to say it's Emblem, Fire Emblem, but what stood out to you most?
For me, Dragon's Quest VII getting remade. That's definitely, I think, the Dragon's Quest that needed the most fixing and remaking was that game. It didn't work for me on PlayStation 1. I don't know, my disc was bad or something. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that on Steam. And I've heard that they've done a lot of good things with the being able to change your class at any point in the game. You don't have to go back to town to do that. It looks like it's good. It's like people are complaining about the 3D animation. Looks like that Police Force, Americans Police Force or whatever. But I think it's fine. It's Toriyama's art just done in 3D instead of cell shading.
You know what it looked like to me? It looked like it was claymation. It looked like it was done by Nick Lord. Like I was watching an Aardman project.
Yeah, I think that's why they mentioned that other old show, because I think that was also some sort of stop motion puppetry or whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting looking. It's not only here's the thing. Nintendo did a lot of multi-platform games, but the second it was shown, the PlayStation and Xbox versions were also posted.
Oh yeah, it's also posted on Steam, so yeah, there's no question.
How about you, TJ?
What was the question?
What was the game you're most excited about that was shown at Nintendo Direct?
Oh, Pokopia, by far.
Okay. I thought you might say Hades too.
Pokopia was absolutely like weird. And it was okay. So the premise of this game is a Ditto, which is the transformed Pokemon in Pokemon, finds a Pokedex that shows it a kid, and it transforms into said child, and steals the Pokedex and runs out into the world and starts making a settlement with the Pokemon it catches. And it's weird because normally a Dittos have like the derpy face that tells you they're a Ditto. But they also like take on the shape of whatever they are and like match it. This one like turns its hands into vine whips, turns it like can breathe fire. At one point, you craft furniture for your Pokemon like to build a campsite, and the Ditto kid just swallows a chair and then goes over to where it wants to put it and throws up the chair. And it was just so unhinged and wacky and weird, and it was a little uncomfortable to watch, but also hilarious. Also, the game looks a lot like Dragon Quest Builders, and I love those games.
Yeah, and it's, for those who don't know, it's a cozy life sim farming game.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have Squirtle helping water the plants.
No, you're gonna take Squirtle's power, and then you're going to spit water
that's what I mean,
plants as a strange Ditto kid.
Or use leafage from the Bulbasaur.
It's so funny. That was by far the funniest part. Even though I have to also laugh at the fact that Nintendo is bringing back, of all things, the freaking Virtual Boy.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about stuff that's good. So, are you excited about Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave?
I mean, it's interesting to see that they're going to bring out another. They're finally working on a new strategy in the Fire Emblem series, because like those games are always huge for everyone who plays them. Like it's. I would say that Fire Emblem has an enormous, ridiculous following for a strategy game, and I know a few people were like, "Oh no, now we're going to get a fresh crop of sword wielders for Smash Bros. When that finally happens again." But
it's been consistently a good, strong series. It's done well, like you said. But I don't know if they showed a lot of gameplay. I think it was just a cutscene of an arena.
I think the entire game is going to have that cel shaded look, though.
Probably.
The cutscenes are not too different from actual gameplay.
They also showed the return of the god character from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Satoth, I think her name is. She's got green hair, and she saves the protagonist in Three Houses, and kind of sets them on their path. And so she appeared at the very end of the trailer for this latest Fire Emblem game. So there's going to be a little bit of connective tissue.
Metro Prime 4 Beyond. Does anybody care?
Finally got a release date. That was something
December
that,
4th.
Everybody was like, are they going to push it back again, or is it going to be in 2026? They can't do this to us. And then they finally showed it.
I know, but it's kind of fatigued now. It's like, do we really care?
Plenty of people still care. It's Metroid.
I guess.
She also got herself a bike, which is interesting because, I hope it's not an open world game. I hope the bike is kind of for, a few set segments and not, a huge part of the game because it's not Metroid.
As usual, I liked Yoshi best. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Those games always have a great look to them, and it's an educational game, but who cares? So, let's talk about the things that people are really, really, really upset about. Okay. First things first. Let's talk about the Virtual Boy. How much is it going to cost? Well, if you want the plastic thing, it's going to cost $80.
$100
and
$99.99.
I think it's actually more expensive than when it originally came out.
Let's
it's
continue.
Nuts.
They also have a Labo version for $25. $25 for cardboard.
I can't believe they're selling this thing again.
Yeah,
it's like they want another failure.
Here's
the original was the original retailed at $180.
So, wow! Okay,
fast. No. Here's the thing. I know someone who said his friend's mother came home and got 2 of them and gave 1 to him, even though he's not her son. So he said he realized, oh my God, they must have been selling for $5. They were giving it away.
I'll tell you this though, like that the Nintendo Virtual Boy is actually one of those collector's items that ends up getting priced much higher than it's actually worth on like eBay.
That's nuts.
No one uses it though. It's like when you buy a copy of Action Comics #1. Are you going to open up and read it?
I'm looking at some of the listings for it right now, and it's
but here's the nuts part:
745, 540.
Wow!
Like people.
Yeah.
What?
Those will remain on those.
Particular.
Those will be auction. Those will remain on auction for a very long time. But here's the thing: the one thing is that 2 things about this. One, they're fucking gonna release 14 games over time. Once a month.
Yes.
Seriously? Do they know some of these games are absolute shit?
Well, 14 games is actually about how many games were made for this.
That's all they were made. Yeah, that was the entire run. And the other thing is that you can fucking play these games on the Wii Shop without the Virtual Boy. They were available for download on the Wii Shop.
The fact that the peripheral, whether you get the plastic one or the cardboard one, is required. It says it on the product page.
And you just stick the thing in front of your face. You
still got a hunch over on the thing. I forgot who's the guy's name is, but he demonstrated it. And he's still hunched into it and looks all awkward. And
I'm sure
let's retinas are going to get burned.
It's like you're putting yourself in a pillory.
Let's talk about that for the people that don't know. The Virtual Boy is a bipedal headset that has to be placed on like a flat surface.
It has a tripod.
And as a bipod, well, it's like a V-shaped bipod with like legs that run down across the bottom. Either way, you have to put it on a table with about 10 inches of depth because otherwise it'll fall off the table. And that means that you have to like lean 10 inches into whatever table or surface you're sitting at. And then you got to find a place to hold the controller, whether it's on top of the table or underneath the table. And then you've got infrared red just blasting into your eyes.
But here's the other problem. The resolution of these... Here's the thing, by the way. In case you don't know, basically what you're doing, you're just strapping the Switch to your face and looking at them through 2 lenses. That's all you're doing. But here's the problem is that the Switch's screen doesn't have a high enough resolution for 3D, and it's going to look blurrier on the Switch than it did on the actual Virtual Boy, because you need a 4K screen to do it right.
By the way, there are no straps on this thing. You just got to...
No, you just stick your face in it.
You just got to balance your head against it and not push it.
You have to stick your face on the table.
So this was a physical and mental and just all sorts of this thing. You could develop back problems, eye problems, and just like all sorts of problems in just one easy to use video game system.
You'd think they'd learn from the Labo, because by the way, the Labo had a VR system too. So
I can't believe people did that.
Remember Labo VR?
I remember that. That was a terrible idea. That looked like just great way to ruin your eyes.
That was at the same time that Google had that app for their cell phone, so you could use it as a cardboard thing for a thing.
This feels like a troll. The whole thing, the whole announcement of that felt like a troll. No. The biggest troll. That wasn't the biggest troll. The biggest troll is when they announced Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2
for $40 each.
Yeah.
Or
I
$70.
thought it was 40 for 2 games.
No, 40
No,
each.
it's $70 to get them as a bundle.
Oh, damn. Okay. That
Let me
sucks.
give you some perspective. Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 were $20 each on the Wii. On the Wii store. On the Wii online store. And these games just have a minor bump in resolution so they don't look jagged. They look exactly the same as they did when they first came out. They're great games, but I guess they're saying, well, you probably put your Wii away, so why not buy it over again and pay twice as much than you did on the Wii U?
I'm conflicted. I'm really conflicted on this one because I love Super Mario Galaxy 2. It's I think that Super Mario Galaxy 2 is the best Super Mario 3D game. I really do. I like it better than I like Odyssey. I like it better than I like Sunshine. I think it's just the best in terms of entire like core premise and then level design throughout the whole thing. I love that game. Will I pay $40 for it or $70 for the bundle? I don't know yet. I have time to think about it, but like,
I would make sure that it's a full physical release on the game card and not that game key card thing.
Or agreed. That is a good point.
Will you pay $50 for a Kirby amiibo?
The flower thing, no.
The Air Riders amiibos?
Yeah, $50, and the others are $30 and $40. They're really taking the piss. Now, yeah, we know there were $20 and tariffs are probably involved, but no, this is not a tariff thing. This is a taking the piss thing. $50 amiibos.
It's getting so like Skylanders had this era, right? They had an era where they did Skylanders toys that had vehicles to go with them, and you could mix and match the characters with their vehicles.
But still, $50.
It's strange to see the amiibo follow the same road that Skylanders took many years ago. I mean,
okay.
I guess the timing with Air Riders is reasonable enough, but it's still such a strange thing. Kirby Air Riders is another interesting thing of itself. Because did you watch any of that direct tracker I did?
Yeah.
He's running this like it's a Smash game. He really is. He's like giving us like character lore and demonstrating like different effects and features. He's and then like the city battle thing looks like a straight up like battle royale type setup. I don't know what to make of it. It's clearly not a racing game. It's like if you can't like you can say that you race in that game, but it's clearly not a racing game. It's so perplexing.
So the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC came out, and it is $20 for a single game mode that is not very interesting, and a single island. $20. Remember how much Silk Song cost? People are saying this is worth at most $4 or $5.
Yeah, they also went and announced DLC for Pokemon
Legends
ZA,
yeah.
And that game hasn't come out yet either. And the DLC for that is going to be $30, which I think is in line with Pokemon
Mega
DLC.
Raichu and Mega Raichu. Right, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y. That's it.
I don't know if it's just that, but like it
is that.
But the fact of the matter is, it's going to be $30, and they're announcing it again before the game comes out. Which I'm not giving. Like, I think it was a problem for Vampire the Masquerade, so why shouldn't it be a problem for Nintendo? Like, I don't know. I think it's weird, especially when most of the Pokemon games didn't get DLC announcements until like at least a season after the game was out.
Well,
am I wrong in that? I feel
know.
like that's the cadence with which it happened.
I don't care. Let's just say that people are upset both ways. I actually have quotes about that. He said, "Just greedy as fuck." One thing that's good about Mario Tennis Fever is that at least we'll have another game with Waluigi in it. You know how rare he is sometimes.
Kind of interesting that they went back to tennis so quickly because we just got a tennis game on the first Switch.
Well, I mean, this is not coming out now. This is coming out next year.
So. Right. It's just it's strange that they would double dip into tennis after just recently doing that. I was kind of hoping that if they were going to go back to a Mario sports game, that they might try either baseball or football. But oh well.
Anyways, let's just talk about Hades 2. It's going to be a console exclusive for a while. And it's coming out in next week.
Yep. Right around the corner. It's shocking to think that a year already passed since that game had early access.
Yeah, I have it as part of my press account, but I refuse to play it because I don't want to spoil anything about Hades 2. By the way, I found out something else interesting about my press account. I actually have Civ 7. Guess what? I'm still not going to play it.
That's a shame.
I might play it out of curiosity after a while. Speaking of which, by the way, our History Untold is going to have a major patch soon. So I might check that out. The one thing I have, the one issue I have about Era History Untold is that it's so micromanaging. You have to get this resource, so that you can build this wonder or this thing. It's sort of like it's overcomplicating it. I just want to play Civ, damn it. And then, I'm kind of bored of Civ 6. I know Dan isn't. Dan is still playing the hell out of it. I think he's at 2,000 hours now. Or 2,000 or 3,000 hours.
Yeah, 2,000, and they still do
turncast.
Yeah, turncast.
Anyways, moving on from the. You want to talk about Steve Ballmer? No, I'm kidding.
I thought you might talk about Nintendo's patent on the whole summoning creature thing.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Because for one thing, guess what? People did it before them. And, oh yeah, that's, by the way, Pal World 2, they're coming out. 1.0 is coming out soon. And here's the thing Nintendo has to understand. Microsoft and Sony are going to back Pal World. And they're going to say, you want to? Okay, game on, Nintendo. You have lawyers. We have better lawyers. You want to fuck around with Microsoft's lawyers? Seriously?
Yeah, I don't know that play.
Yeah, and ESA will have something to say about it too. I don't know what ESA is doing these days without E3. Anyways, there's other stuff we can talk about. I can find it. What happened to my news? No, that's not the news. That's actually the sound effect I do whenever I see certain things that are going on right now. Oh yeah. What do you think about the rumors about Yakuza Kiwami 3?
I hear that that's like one of the hardest original ones to play because it's just there are archaic and grindy things in it that are just annoying to get through. So the Kiwami games have been pretty good at cleaning up the originals and making them play. There's people that feel that like they lose a little bit something in the translation, but ultimately they're just meant to make the game more accessible to everybody. So I don't know. I think it'll.
For those of you who are wondering, they accidentally posted their site a entry for Kiwami 3, and then they pulled it down immediately. But yeah, it was too late. People already screen capped the hell out of that. And there's an RGG summit coming next week, so they assume it's going to be announced.
Yep. So that'll be interesting to see happen. I'm excited to. I'm at least excited to see. Like, I want to see the first trailer for that. I like the Yakuza story. I like playing through Kiwami. I liked playing through Kiwami 1 and 2. I've heard that they're a lot easier than their originals, and I expect 3. It'll probably be the same with the Kiwami 3, but Also, I like the idea of not having to deal with frustration of the original game and still being able to enjoy what it has in it.
So, Gearbox severely underestimated how much the fans are just gonna. They released free loot for players because it's broken. People are doing these $1 million hits. They're just exploiting the hell out of it. They're doing infinite damage builds that can nuke bosses in under 10 seconds.
I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think the bigger problem is that Randy Pitchford needs to have his phone taken away. He's not doing that team any favors. He keeps talking.
He just seems to piss everyone off every time he opens his mouth.
Man, he's in the replies of people that are talking shit on Borderlands, like giving them tech advice that doesn't work. And it's like, man, I get it. You worked so hard on that. You have a lot of passion for it. You have this. You want this thing to succeed. It's your baby. I get it. Let your team handle that stuff. Let the people that you hire to handle that stuff. Don't go out there yelling at people that they're wrong for criticizing your game and they need to get over themselves or code their own engine. Like, come on, man.
Oh, by the way, did you see the bug in which people who are playing solo in Destiny 2 can no longer respawn?
I didn't see that.
I forgot about it. It was yesterday. They're working on it, but can you imagine? You're playing solo and you can't respawn when you die.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one. But like,
And the thing is that that's coming in while there's while people are complaining, there's an outrage over Bungie's microtransaction rug pull.
Yeah. Like and like I said, it's a thing where like people are starting to get fed up to the point where you still have a pretty good player base over there, but like if something better comes along and people are ready, they might.
I don't know why people like that. I'm sorry, but that game, both Destiny and Destiny 2, bored me to tears.
Yeah, I know, and yet they have like even despite the being in like one of the worst states that they're in, they still have like, let's see, 24,000 people in there right now, and that's like at a downtime. And it's the strangest thing because like you would think that for as much complaining as you hear about Destiny 2, and as you say, being bored to tears because you're not the only one that feels that way, this game still packs a lot of people in and keeps them going. I think to a certain point, it's probably just they've been playing it for so long, it's an addiction, kind of like EVE Online or like a MOBA. But I don't know, man. I think I have to think that like if Destiny Rising continues to do so well, I wonder if PlayStation, being the publishers, will suddenly be like, well, let's move this over to consoles and PC and get it off of mobile so everybody can play it. And then what happens to D2 if Destiny Rising takes off like a rocket?
I just call it Destiny 3. That's all. So remember last 2 weeks ago we were talking about how Silksong broke the internet. I mean, all the stores went down.
Yes.
Well, in less than 2 weeks, Silksong sold 3.2 million copies.
Man, that's fast.
And remember, Silksong's on PC and Xbox Game Pass. So you have a whole chunk of people who are playing it for free, or at least as part of their subscription too. So it has to be something like 6 million across all consoles.
That's wild for an indie game. That's absolutely crazy.
And then you wonder, hey, guess what? How much does it cost? $20. Guess why people are playing it?
And even if the game is like been in development for a long time and people have anticipated it, there have been other games that people have anticipated for a long time that didn't hit that hard. Yeah. Like that's pretty impressive.
I remember when Capcom. I remember when Capcom said that when Lost Planet sold 1 million copies in a year, they deemed it a rousing success and did Lost Planet 2. So here's the thing. What are you going to call the sequel? You're not going to call it... I don't think you're going to say Hollow Knight Silksong 2 or Hollow Knight 2. So they're going to have to come up with some interesting name for it next. Because guess what? This is a ballot. This is a landslide. People voted for another Silksong game, another Hollow Knight song game. Oh, this is sad. There's a related article about they're leaving condolences for the family of a late Hollow Knight fan who created a boss for the game before dying of cancer in 2020.
That's pretty touching.
They it was like a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing where he wanted to meet Team Cherry, and they met him and they let him sketch up a character, and then they put the character in the game as boss. And the boss has like a quest line that you follow through a good portion of Act 2 and Act 3. So, man, they went all out with that character, and I kind of am like, I'm excited to run into it. I haven't seen it yet. I know where it is and how to find it, but it's going to be interesting to fight that particular fight.
You've seen the character, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So this was 5 years ago, so they had a lot of time to work on the boss.
Also, good on them for coming through on that, like, because that's like, I hope that the family gets a little bit of peace and joy out of that, because man, that's rough to be a fan of something or know somebody who is a fan of something and not able to make it to that.
By the way, the character is named after him. It's Seth.
Mm-hmm. Shrine Guardian Seth.
The kid's name was Seth Goldman. So
Mm-hmm.
You would have been 21 this year. Or you would have been 22 this year. Sorry. That's a bummer. Or not a bummer, but it's not exactly the kind of news I thought I was going to be.
It's nice that they did that for them. Like, Team Cherry has shown repeatedly that they do right by their fans, and I respect that about them, despite all the success they've had. Because, like, they are, like, at this point, so successful that people question whether or not they can still be considered indie, which is silly to me, because yes, they are. They aren't backed by anyone. They had to make their success just like any other indie developer by making something incredible. And they've proven over and over again that they care about the fans and doing right by them and making sure that they put their best foot forward. And I think that's extremely admirable for someone for a group that's seen so much success on their own projects.
You know that Take-Two did a stealth reveal of Grand Theft Auto 6's release date?
Is it not still in 2026?
They said, it was kind of specific. They said, we're going to be releasing the largest game launch in history 7 months from now. So if you want to...
It's currently set for May 26th.
Right, which is, by the way, guess what happens at March 31st? The end of the quarter. It's the end of the year's quarter. So, yeah, they want their stock to skyrocket. And, yeah, I mean, releasing in March, you know. I mean, that was one of the big problems with Mass Effect, was that they released that in March because they wanted to get this boost when all the previous Mass Effect games were released in November.
They did that with Animal Crossing as well.
Yeah, but I think that was a pandemic too. So, yeah. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. If Grand Theft Auto only sells 10 million units, will that be a flop?
I assume that it has to sell just like... Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how much Grand Theft Auto 6 needs to sell to be successful, because they've been working on this for so long.
They were working for Grand Theft Auto 5 so long, and Grand Theft Auto 4 so long. It's a thing.
Is it weird to say that I think that everything about whether this game like ultimately succeeds or doesn't for Take-Two and Rockstar is going to be based on whether or not the online catches hold.
So there's another thing. Nobuo Uematsu, who's a very famous JRPG composer, Blue Dragon and everything by Mistwalker and all that stuff, right? He actually said that he's worried about video game music because the music's kind of generic and it's quote unquote, he says, quote, there's less weird things now.
Yeah, I can't disagree with him when it comes to like AAA games because orchestral scores are just in everything now. And there's nothing necessarily wrong with orchestral scores. I like a good orchestral score. But there was definite quirk in old games that in the soundtracks for them that like I think that has been lost a little bit on people trying to make games into such a prestigious art.
He said, that a lot of indie games don't suffer this. I mean, you have The Rock in the 80s and Pizza Tower and
Pizza Tower's got a great soundtrack.
And it's the Sega Stars had a good one. Octopath was good.
Yes,
but he says that if you try to make the same stuff as John Williams and grow complacent with that, you'll get nothing more from it. Now, if someone put a bit of techno in there, what kind of sound would it become then? I think that's a good way to approach music.
Well, and Trials does that. It has a great variety of music there.
Hollow Knight has a indie string section.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I really like Hollow Knight's music, and it does fall under that sort of orchestral score thing. But it's just, I also like a lot of stuff like Absalom, which I played a demo of recently, had a pretty good score behind it, and that's like T. Lopez and Gareth Coker, and also I think the Doom composer. He added some stuff to that, which is crazy.
One who people were wanted to boycott for. One that people were really
not him. They wanted to boycott the game because it was using his music. It was using masters of his music that he didn't sign off on. And
I do like, there's some orchestral music that really works. I mean, Mass Effect is a good example. You'll never forget that score. But often it's sort of like just generic orchestral hits.
I feel like Yacht Club Games has a really good handle on sort of retro style music with what they do. Of course, Shovel Knight has an amazing soundtrack, but also some of the stuff from the upcoming game, Mina the Hollower.
You're going to talk about Nier Automata next, because you're required to. Whenever we talk about video game music.
Automata's soundtrack. They have concerts with that music, and it's so good. But I love a mix. I love a mix of old and quirky and like retro chiptune style, and I love some of the new stuff.
You gotta play Wonder Song, damn it!
I mean, Guilty Gear is like my favorite franchise series of all time, and that series is literally defined by heavy metal music.
Here's the thing: play Hollow Song. It's just going to take you maybe 5 hours to complete. And the music in it is incredible because it's such a slow burn. It goes from plink plonk type of, plink plonk. Simon Says, Guitar Hero, button mashing. And then it just keeps on orchestrating and orchestrating and orchestrating and orchestrating and orchestrating. Anyways, look for our show notes at gamingpodcast.net along with industry news and our gaming history articles. We enjoy your feedback, send us comments on our blog at gamingpodcast.net. Also, hit us up at facebook.com/gamingpodcast. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, leave us some iTunes comments. You can find me at Twitter at Jonah Falcon.
You can find me at Johnny Chugs.
You can find me at Chart the Sage.
And we will see you next week.
Happy gaming, everyone.
Have fun, be cool, play games, y'all.
We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. It didn't feel like that long. See you later.
Later.